back on the Robert II afterwards with the spoils of your victory, and the orc base is also completely demolished and in flames. Now, the only thing left to do is to go meet the buyer, the person who is going to pay you a fuck ton of money for all of these weapons. All right, we have everything. Now to go meet the buyer. And the other thing is that he wants to make one very small pit stop that is on the way. Now, the buyer is located on the eastern coast of the continent, which is in the Empire, and it's the far, far part of it.
I'm gonna walk up to Mick. I'm gonna nudge, wink, and give him my idea.
Okay, Mick, do you understand what he's saying? I assume.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Okay, so you successfully go over and do that. Basically, what Ishmael says is you guys are going to go to a place called Edgeland, and that is kind of Fingers Point is basically the Calgar equivalent to Edgeland. Edgeland is a little isthmus or a little peninsula that goes out from the continent in towards the sea, and it's also an imperial dock. Okay, so the place that you're stopping in, so you're actually going to Port Sandhorn, which is the peninsula, but you're stopping in Edgeland first because Ishmael has a little surprise for you guys that's going to basically allow you to strong-arm your negotiations a little bit more.
Do we have the buyer's daughter?
You do not have the buyer's daughter. He says that it is a special weapon that is going to make sure that you guys don't get fucked over. Ishmael, because you guys are asking so many questions, Ishmael doesn't really see a point in keeping the buyer's identity a secret anymore. So he looks over to all of you and he says, well, there's really no point in me keeping this to myself anymore. The buyer is the Emperor himself.
Oh, cool. So what's up with this pit stop you need to take, man? This sounds like shady shit.
Raka, Ishmael comes up to you and says, it's basically a cannon shell we can fire out of that thing. But it's going to do a lot more than what a cannon shell should do.
Yeah, but why?
We're going to see the Emperor of the Eastern Empire. This is the person that runs the largest army in the world. I don't want to go in with anything less than total destruction.
So hold on, you're trying to get us, locked up with the 12? You're trying to get the 12 coming out here, man. That's not a good idea, bro.
Buyer is literally the Emperor.
That's what he would want me to think.
Okay, do you want to do a roll to see if he's telling the truth?
No, he believes he's telling the truth. The fact is he just doesn't trust the Emperor is the one who wants. He doesn't trust the fact that it's the Emperor who wants it, or that the Emperor isn't just going to have them locked away when he turns it in.
I think he's full of shit.
All right, do you want to roll for that?
Sure.
Okay, roll a d20 to see if you can discern whether or not he is lying. All right, you rolled a 10. You can tell that it seems that he's telling the truth, because at this point, there's really no reason for him to lie to you. Ishmael says that he agrees with you, Raka. He doesn't trust him, which is why he wants this weapon, because he knows that this is going to be the thing that makes it so that you guys probably are not brutally murdered.
How do we get it inside?
Ishmael says that there's a drop point on a very tall kind of rock structure on the edge of Edgeland. It's hidden there. He hid it there many years ago because he thought that he might need it for something like this. So he looks over to Gertrude and he tells Gertrude that they should head for Edgeland and then they'll head for Port Sandhorn. She agrees and sets course. Now, it shouldn't take you too long to get there because you're actually not that far away. So that'll probably take you 6 hours to get to Edgeland and then maybe another hour after that to get from there to Port Sandhorn, which is where your meetup is. You guys make it there in about 5 hours. Once you get there, Ishmael points out a rather tall mountain that Gertrude pulls the ship up to, enough so that you can put down a walking plank and walk onto a small plateau that's on the top of the mountain. Ishmael walks down the plank first and invites you guys to come with, since he's probably going to need a hand lifting the cannonball, and he's going to need it moved very carefully.
Sounds like the job for little someone with a mech.
No, it sounds like a job for a guy on cocaine. Here, guy.
Ishmael goes up, and there's he goes up to what looks like a solid face of rock. He waves his hand over it, and you can see a magical rune that lights up. And the front of the rock face is actually a magical illusion. So the illusion fades away, and behind the illusion, you see there is a chest. that's sitting on the ground, closed and locked. Ishmael goes up to it and takes a special key out of his cufflink, and he opens the box. Inside, you see that there appears to be a cannon shell or a mortar shell that would very easily fit inside of your deck gun, and it is glowing green.
I guess I'll go over there and I'll lift it.
Yeah, Ishmael's going to try and lift the other side, so you guys going to roll strength. Okay, so Ishmael rolled an 18, so he's covered. You rolled a 6, but your strength is fucking ridiculous, so you lift the thing. So you guys carry that chest back to the ship, and Ishmael instructs Gertrude and Fleetwood that if they load it into the cannon to be very careful. Basically, I'm going to give you the stats on that. That cannonball is literally being referred to as an MWMD, a magical weapon of mass destruction. That thing does 50 D10s of damage, and it has a 100-foot blast radius.
Hey, I'm gonna go over to Mick, and I'm like, use a Steph reality on it.
I oppose to this.
All right, Kane, are you actually going to do that?
Let's do it! I got nothing to lose from it.
It was nice knowing you,
It
bro.
was nice knowing you too.
So 73. I feel like I've seen that one before.
Oh, no.
I think so too.
Target is cured of
makes it
poison, so apparently if the cannonball was poisoned, it has now been cured, so that does absolutely nothing.
And I'm gonna be like, again.
If you want to keep rolling this dice, then by all means go ahead, but it's not going to end well.
Trust your
86
players.
makes the
Oh, no.
user grow some years older, so the cannonball gets older, but it's still a cannonball.
Good
70, you gain +3 strength to a strength check that has no effect on the cannonball. Gain invulnerability to fire for 1 hour. So that means the cannonball can't be detonated for 1 hour.
One more.
All right.
32. All right, that was close. Your skin turns blue for 1 day, so you turn the cannonball blue. It's the last one. So, okay, so you guys have your magical nuke on board. So you guys are going to sail for Port Sandhorn, which is not going to take that long. It's only going to take you about an hour to get there. Now, as you get there, you see that even though it's an imperial port, there are no ships in dock, which you find very odd.
Smells like a trap, AC.
Ishmael points down to a small set of buildings that are right outside the main encampment. He says that's the inn where you're supposed to meet the buyer.
I'm gonna go over to Gertrude, Kira. I'm gonna tell him maintain this this fucking cannon, and if anything happens, just launch it.
Gertrude nods her head and wishes you good luck, as does Kira, who kisses you goodbye. Gertrude also tells Valnos that he better get his ass back there.
No. If I
No.
die, I die in the blazing fires of hell.
She says that's why you're her man. You guys can pile your way into the magic dinghy, and that will go down to the meeting point.
The cannonball is already in.
Oh, you loaded the nuke cannonball in?
Yeah.
Better safe than sorry. We
Oh.
just put a shit ton of parachutes on Nick and just let him slowly glide back into the ground.
Well, I mean, he can also just drop in that thing because it gets fired out of a cannon and it's fine. So he can just drop down, but Cham, you're going to need a parachute, otherwise you're just going to hit the ground.
I'll put on a fucking parachute.
All right, Fleetwood gives you a second parachute, which he's already made because he figured you would need another one again. Cham, you're going to parachute. Kane, you're going to drop down in the mech suit. I'm assuming everybody else is just going to take the dinghy.
I'm gonna take the dinghy because I don't want to fucking die right now. I want to die by the nuke.
Okay, so you guys take the dinghy. So you guys get the dinghy with Ishmael. So you four are in the dinghy. Kane, you can just drop off the ship if you want, and then Cham, you can jump off. You just need to roll a dex roll on the way down to pull the parachute.
Okay.
So you can roll your dex roll now. The other guys are going to descend down in the magic dinghy. All right, you pull the parachute a little late, but you still get it out. So you do manage to land safely. Kane lands first before all of you and deploys his mech.
Titan deploying.
Basically, yeah. So Cham, you land and the rest land in the dinghy. Now, as you guys land, a portly-looking man steps out of a barn that's right near where the inn is and walks up to your position. There's nobody else with him. He looks like he has a bunch of rings on, and you do recognize him. He is the Emperor. His name is Boris. You have the weapons I need, yeah?
I want to make a perception check.
Okay.
See if he has any weapons or armor on.
Okay. All right, that's a 9. You're able to discern at least He's not brandishing anything openly. He's in just what looks like plain regular clothes. If there is armor, it might be magical or something like that, or tucked under. You don't necessarily know, but it doesn't look like he's wearing anything that would make it very obvious. You notice that he has a lot of jewelry.
First of all, I'm gonna do the same.
All right, so you rolled a 12, so you're able to discern that maybe the rings are magical, but you're not sure. And you come to the same conclusion as Cham, that he doesn't have any visible armor or weapons on him. Have my weapons or not? I am not here to make small talk. I am here to pay.
I want to see the money.
Okay, he snaps his fingers, and as he snaps his fingers, you see a beholder carrying a chest float its way out of the barn and place the chest down in front of you. The chest he opens the chest and it has 450,000 gold sitting inside of it. Or at least that's what he claims. It looks to be correct. Don't worry, this is my Lily. She's very nice. Very nice girl. He pets the beholder almost like it's his pet.
I'm gonna name you Borat.
You know who I am. I am Boris Emperor.
I don't care.
I don't give a shit who you are.
You're just a
Give
man.
your money, hand over my weapons.
What are you gonna do with those weapons, Phil?
It is any of your business. You're getting paid.
It's my business now because I wasn't hired because of retrieving some whack-ass weapons and then ending up castrating a dragon just for some billion-eyed pet to show up with magical chests of gold.
You think Lily's my only pet? I have 3 ex-wives. Lily is my ex-wife. And then I also have Rosie and Karen. So you see, if you don't give me my weapons, you'll have to meet my ex-wives, and trust me, they are not very nice.
I can make any woman nice, Holmes.
Okay.
Show me the money.
Hey, let me
I
take a look
did.
at those.
It's right there. Are you blind?
Not that
hey,
money, Holmes.
Let me take a look at those ex-wives of yours. I want to pick one of them out.
You're staring at one. He points to the beholder.
I want to fuck that one.
Are you actually going to try and have sex with the beholder?
Yes.
Okay, as you approach the beholder, it immediately looks at you and uses one of its 13 tentacled eyes to use an ability on you. So it's going to use telekinesis, which is going to be able to move you back 20 feet. So it's going to roll to make sure that it does that.
Actually, never mind. I'll back out of this.
Okay.
Hey Vash, I just had an amazing idea.
What?
But we're gonna have to all roll for this shit for it to work.
What's your idea?
I know Vash is a fucking lesbian, but I don't care. Have her seduce fucking Borat or whatever. Make him take off all his fucking clothes to get ready to do the horizontal dance, and then we stab him in the face.
You're going to have to roll persuasion to try and do that.
Okay.
All right, 14. So he's going to have to roll against that. He rolled an 18, so he is not seduced.
But
He's starting to get a bit perturbed. Give me my weapons. Your money is here. Please. All I want is the weapon.
Jesus, what's it gonna take me to fucking persuade you? Do I have to show you my asshole in order to fucking persuade you?
No, I have many of those at home already. All you need to do is give me my weapons and take the money before Lily gets pissed.
Oh shit! I was going to just straight up attack him.
Okay, so Cham, you're going to just directly attack him. So as you move towards him, the beholder doesn't move, and neither does he. He seemingly invites you to attack him.
God, no. I highly advise against that, actually. I think I know what's going on.
Yeah, I got the gist. So I'm gonna have my freaking instincts tell me don't attack.
Ooh, fly.
Oh, you get cold feet now. Why so?
Because you got something I don't like.
Oh, I have several things.
Don't worry, by the end tonight, I'll have your head.
Oh, see, I don't like that. Lily, go take care of them. Get my weapons. We don't pay you. So the beholder comes forward. You're going to have everybody roll for initiative. Okay, so yeah. So it's going to be Kane and Cham, Velnos, Raka, Lily the Beholder, and then Vash. The first person who's going to go in combat is going to be Kane. So you're going to get a chance to take a shot at that beholder before it has a chance to do anything.
All right. Well, earlier Our dear friend Guile gave me an important item that I'm gonna take advantage of right now.
So wait a minute. So Cham, you were gonna have him hold on to the end of the sword, and you were gonna have him lift you.
No, I'm going to lift him because he's holding onto the sword.
The
Pick up the
gauntlets
sword.
only work with the sword. You can't just lift a mech suit.
I still want to try.
Okay, you can attempt to do that, but that's going to take up Kane's turn.
I mean, I'm down.
And that's technically something you can do on your turn, so he can choose to grab that
Yeah.
on his turn, and then you can choose to try and lift him.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I already
Kane, are you
told-
going to use your turn to do that?
Sure. I mean, I'll indulge it. Why not?
Okay, so you waste your turn doing that, and then Cham, you're going to have to roll strength to lift him. You do not lift him.
Shit.
That is your turn. Now it's going to go down to Velma. Cham and Kane uselessly wasted their turn, so what are you going to do? All right, so you're gonna try and cut off some
Slice
of
off the big
the eyes with your lightsaber, I assume.
The big eye. The big eye.
Okay, you're
Yeah.
gonna go for the big eye in the center. So you're gonna stab that or slice it.
I'm gonna stab it.
Okay, you're just gonna stab it with the Cataclysm Sword.
Try.
Okay, that's gonna hit. So that does 5d10 damage. All right, so you do 33 damage directly to that center eye. So that center eye is fucked. Now, that center eye was actually what it used to do its cone of cold attack. So it can no longer do that attack anymore, and it also takes 33 damage. So its current health has dropped. It is not anywhere close to being halfway done with health, but you did take a good chunk out of it, and you did disable that. So that was Velnos' turn. So Raka, it is now your turn.
All right, so where's everybody at?
So now it is to you. You are a little bit further back from it. You're not right dead center in front of it.
So there's a big eye hole.
There's a big hole in the center of the eye now because Velnos stabbed it with a lightsaber.
I'm gonna tie a bag of cocaine to one of my LSD arrows, and I'm gonna launch it.
Okay.
Into the eye hole.
Roll a
With a-
dexterity roll to craft that on the fly. I'm gonna count that as a minor action. Okay. I'm gonna say that hits. And so you're using an LSD arrow, so that means he has to roll Constitution to make sure he's not tripping balls, and he's going to also have to roll Constitution again. All right, so he's not tripping balls, but he's going to have to roll Constitution again against the cocaine. Okay, he's not affected by either one of those things, but you can still roll damage. Because you're using an LSD arrow, it's still going to be 5d10. All right, so that's another. All right, so that's 31 damage. So you fire that LSD arrow in, and it gets lodged in that eye hole. So that really fucking hurts. So this thing is not happy. However, so that's 31 damage that you just did to that. So next person in the order is going to be the actual beholder. So Kane and Cham, since you guys are dead center in front of it because you tried that little lurch trick before. It's going to aim at both of you guys, and the only eye that is disabled is the eye that is doing Cone of Cold. So what it's going to do is it's going to use its domination spell on Cham. Now, the way that works is it's an insta-cast, and it's going to take control of you and be able to use you if you fail an intelligence saving roll with a -2 penalty. And that takes a -2, which is 8. I'm going to say that you don't resist on that, but I'm actually going to roll for him to see if he can beat that. Okay, he does beat that. So he now has control of you on your next turn, and he can use you how he pleases. So that is going to be his turn. So he's not going to be able to attack. So the next person in the attack there is going to be Vash. So Vash, you're going to be able to do what you want there. So the beholder has just taken control of Cham. Are you going to, what are you attacking with, Vash?
Oh, I was gonna fucking hit him with my magic missile. Oh,
So I believe it's 3d4 plus 3. Okay, so 2, 1, 1. So that is, yep, that's going to be 7 damage. So you do 7 damage to him. He kind of just shakes that off. He looks at you kind of pissed. That doesn't really do a whole lot to him, but it's enough to kind of get him perturbed. So now it's going to go back up to Kane.
So I am going to use one of my max abilities to channel magic.
Okay, so what spell are you channeling?
I am going to channel. I just have it listed as lightning bolt.
So you're going to upgrade the damage die for that from an 8 to a 10 because of the mech's ability, because of the magic channeling. So because you're casting that at, I think, a 6th level spell, you're going to get an additional 3 missiles. So you're doing 13d6 damage. You're just going to have to aim to see if you hit the beholder.
Okay.
You hit. Okay, so you're doing 13 d6s worth of electrical damage. All right, that's 40. You let loose a massive lightning bolt from the hand of the mech, and it basically kind of charges up for a second and then just blows the fuck out. And that electrical charge was enough to stun it for a turn, which also stuns Cham for his turn. So what happens is Cham just kind of slumps over along with the beholder, and the beholder's just kind of like semi-dazed because you just basically gave it electroshock therapy to the head. And it also didn't help that it has a metal bolt that's stuck in its head from Raka's previous attack, so that kind of acts like a lightning rod. So most of that damage goes to the inside of it.
So does that break the spell?
No, you still have to roll a successful intelligence roll.
But wouldn't that be somewhat of an advantage since he really can't concentrate?
You won't take the -2. Okay, so that's a 6. That is not going to... although I will roll for him, and he will take a -2. Ooh, okay. All right, you break free. So you have a turn. So I'm going to call this an attack of opportunity for you since you broke free. The first one critted.
Is a crit. That's the big sword.
Yeah, that is the big sword. It's 5d10, so you can roll that, and then that's doubled.
42.
Okay, so that beholder is in terrible fucking position. You carved off half of its eyes. So it can only do a few spells now. It can't do very many, and its health is in the red at this point. So now Velnos. Velnos is the next one. So he's going to have a chance to finish this off.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to give it the Sith penis taser.
So you're going to launch chain lightning from your groin.
Straight to the bolt.
Okay. Roll the hit.
Don't fuck me over this time, baby.
That's enough because it's still stunned. So that's going to hit. So roll for 10d6. All right, so you rolled a 39. Okay, so you shoot lightning from your groin. It impacts the beholder, causes it to explode violently into a million fucking pieces and splatter everywhere and all over everybody. It's just like a big blood and gore grenade. So that thing is just covered in nasty at this point. The entire area is covered in that thing's guts. Boris is sitting back, and as the S kind of comes towards him, you notice that it appears to impact something before it actually hits him. And you notice that there appears to be some kind of a glowing blue light that's actually around his body for a second before the gore falls to the ground harmlessly, and he appears to be perfectly clean. He also begins clapping. Very good, very good. I never liked Lily. She was always a bitch. Too many eyes. But even though that was very fun display, you should give me my weapons now. Otherwise, you're going to have to meet Rosie, and Rosie not so nice. Lily much nicer than Rosie.
Here's my question: Is Rosie hot?
Well, let's find out. He snaps his fingers, and the red barn behind him explodes into just planks of wood and everything else. It just goes sprays all over the area. Inside of that is Rosie, who is a Terrask.